just entertaining the group with.
Please, don't.
You know, getting back to this thing, I want to read this quote by a man named Mac Babbitt. It's funny that you brought up your rant. This guy, well, they have this thing in this baseball magazine, Scouts Honor. I guess they honor a different guy. Oh, Bob Nightingale's by. He was the Angels guy when I was there. Anyway, his biggest pet peeve in baseball now, just all of the statistical analysis we're seeing with fewer managing or scouting by the gut.
Right.
There's a place for statistics, but you have to evaluate players. You have to know what's inside. That kind of goes with what you're talking about, how players are robots. There's the statistics. We're going to do this because the stats say you don't pitch to this guy, you don't do that. So, yeah, the players
more
are
technical than instinct, and baseball is based on instincts.
Players are tools. They always were, but at least they played, like you just said, on their instinct. They knew what to do. Now, that doesn't mean every guy. Obviously, Jeter's a stud, and there's the guys that are out there that are great. But the younger guys coming up. And the other thing is he brings up best amateur players. This new guy, Steven Stroudsburg of San Diego State. This guy throws 98. He's been clocked as high as 104. Washington's got the first pick. Does he go right to the big leagues? That's dangerous with a young guy, even though he's got the great stuff. Very few guys go from college, hardly anybody, and just has a great dominating career with that kind of stuff.
Right.
Let him go down, get the seasoning on how to play the game. But
develop his other pitches. You can't. I mean,
it's a changed game.
How long is he going to be throwing like that?
It kills me because I have to accept it as an ex-big league ball player that I was fortunate to play in the era where the manager made suggestions as to what pitch. You could shake them off.
Right.
These are what we think. So as you got some experience, you said, "No, you know what? I'm the one who gets the loss or the win here. I don't feel good with that pitch. I'm shaking him off." But if you continually throw what they tell you, you know, I know my son. I explained to him last year. Listen, you win a few games in a row, then you start shaking off and doing it your way. He's going to get on you if you fail.
Right.
But if you succeed, you'll get away with a little more, and that's basically how it's worked out. I know that when somebody shakes off the coach and then gives up a hit, the coach is pissed. Right. But who gets pissed at the coach when he puts down the wrong sign? When he puts down a changeup on a number 9 hitter and the guy hits a double, and you're thinking, I could have blew this kid away on 3 fastballs. Nobody says anything to the coach. So most kids are afraid to shake off the coach. I've told my son, dominate, put zeros up. Because when you're in pro ball and you're in college and you're in high school, put zeros on the scoreboard, and you pretty much can start to control the game a little more. Not being cocky or disrespectful to the coaches, but if in my gut I say a hard two-seamer in on this guy's hands is going to get me a ground ball double play, and I got a coach calling a slider, if my heart's not in that slider, it's not going to be a real good slider. It might be a hanger as opposed to that nasty two-seamer to do what I want.
Yeah, because you're thinking about the pitch you want to throw.
What do you think, Rick, being a card guy and stat and baseball and all that? You think there's too much with the statistics?
I don't even think the kids today could organize a game on their own, let alone call their own pitches. It's sad.
It is sad. It is.
What do you mean, organize like a
they can't go, Yeah, when's the last time you saw a Sandlot game going on?
Once in a while I see football going on, but you don't. You don't see it, and it is a shame because you do learn. And the thing is,
that's true. You don't see that.
No, and then if you do see it, if you put them out there, they'd have to look over their shoulders.
They're all playing home.
No, they need their coach to tell them what to do.
Yeah, it's a shame. That used to kill me when I would see that.
We used to get together.
It's a changed game. It's a changed game, and there's nothing we can do about it. But somebody did bring something up the other day during the Angels game. I forget who they were playing, but they were playing small ball, and one of the announcers, whoever it was, said, "Boy, you notice a lot of that this year. The games, why? They didn't go this far. Steroids. You can't rely on the 3-run homer. You don't have 7 guys in your lineup going to hit 20 homers now, and they're going back to moving runners over. Look at the stolen bases going on this year. There are a lot of. You're starting to see a little bit of the old baseball to where we got to manufacture runs.
Right.
You're seeing a lot of 2-1 games, a lot of 3-2 games.
That's why Billy Martin was so good, because Billy Martin could beat you. As the manager, he could beat you. He was a 10th guy on the field, you know.
Well, Billy, I'm glad you said that because
he could manufacture a run when he needed it.
But you know what? The other thing, bunting. I hate this, like bunting. Remember Phil Rizzuto? He was the announcer, but every year, because he was the greatest bunter.
He was a good bunter.
He would have a clinic with all the Yankee players, all of them, on how to bunt. Right. Today, nobody even knows. No, they don't know how to bunt.
No.
I remember, because even I, as a kid, remembered the lesson. Because he says, don't hold the bat tight. Hold it loose, deaden the ball. He said he's playing.
If you look at a lot of the players today, there's so much mechanics taught. It's like you said, they're robots. You look out there's a lot of guys all with the same stances. Where are the where are the Ty Cobbs? Where are the Tony Gwynns? The Wade Boggses? The guys who had different stances?
It's all technical now.
George Brett would adjust his stance to if he was in a slump. He'd try a little something different.
Yeah.
These guys, they run into a slump. They don't know what to do. They're waiting for their coach to tell them, "Oh, well, your arm is at the wrong angle, and this is at the wrong."
That kind of game.
Yeah, but a lot of
you got to figure out how to hit.
A lot of them are teaching the wrong way. You brought up Billy Martin, and he's the one who said, I don't know if I brought this up last week, a great coach will tell you in a one-run game, and I think it was Billy Martin, if we lose by 1 run, it was my fault. What could I have done differently to won that game? 1 run. 1 run, something a coach could have done, whether it's steal a base, maybe not steal a base where a guy got thrown out. There's something that a manager can do, or a coach at the lower levels can do to get you 1 run, or I should have took the starter out, I should have left him in. Whatever it is, there's something a coach did that cost them the game in 1-run games. But they aren't teaching it that way, and we, as our generation of guys who played ball, see this. It's not going to stop. The bunting, when I was with the Giants, we used to practice in spring training with a lacrosse stick.
Right.
And off the radar gun, and you learn to hold it like a bat, and when the pitch is coming in, you caught the baseball.
Right. You have to feel it.
And you learn because that's how you're not
this.
Yeah, right. You're just catching
I remember
the
Phil Rizzuto lesson like it was yesterday.
Well, he's a pitcher. They have to learn how to.
You better bunt, because that can keep you in games.
But everybody should know how to do that.
They tell you to get that bunt down in the 7th inning. That means get the bunt down, because I really should be taking you out for a pinch hitter. But if you can move this guy over, if you don't move him over, then he's got to hear questions from the media. Why did you let him hit?
Right.
If he gets the bunt down, because he wants you on the mound. He doesn't want to take you out. You're pitching good. Right. But if you're a lousy bunter and you can't do your sacrifices, I got to take you out of the game and pinch hit for you.
Did you watch the game against the Twins where this Gardner kid got thrown out by Maurer? He took instead of staying at third with 1 out, he gets thrown out. Cano, what does he do? He hits a fly ball. That would have been won the game. Why did he try to be the hero? I mean, that's what it looked like to me.
Instincts, like you said, it's the instincts. If you do that on your own enough,
he was halfway to the mound. He had the ball. Gardner thought he could come home with it because Maurer faked the throw to first, and he came back.
Well, that's an instinct call. And he had
okay.
Not good. You were saying before, but instincts. He thought he could.
But you got to remember, there's only one. There's only 1 out. You stay on third. You stay on third. The game's tied. Cano only had to hit a fly ball, and what did he do? He hit a fly ball, but then now it's the 3rd out instead of the last out. I mean, you get
How about those Yankees, though?
Huh?
How about for you 2 Yankee bashers?
I love the Yankees.
You love them this week, huh? 8 in a row? You love them.
8 in a row.
Right. Listen, but as much as I rank the Yankees, I also I've said it, and we could go back on the tapes, that they always do this early in the season. In the end, they're always going to be
Looks like Gayrod made a big
difference.
difference.
Well, he certainly did for Teixeira. And,
absolutely.
I'll tell you one thing about that real quick. In 95, we were in first place halfway through May. Matt Williams was leading the league in home runs, RBIs, and he was like 2nd in batting, maybe even 1st. He was just tearing it up, April and May. He breaks his foot.
Oof.
Losing Matt basically meant we also lost Barry Bonds, because our new cleanup hitter was a guy named Steve Scarsoni. You ever hear of him? Right, and that was our cleanup hitter.
Oh, boy.
So when Barry comes to the plate, and you look in the on-deck circle and go, who's that? With the bat boy, or is that somebody coming up?
You're walking Barry.
And listen, Scarsoni was a big league ball player, not to knock him, but he was not a cleanup hitter. He probably hit 12 home runs on the year. He was a good example of the overexposures cost a lot of people their careers, because he got on a little roll and he goes, if I can just play every day, I can hit 25 homers. Blah, blah, blah. Boom, Matt gets hurt. He plays every day. Ended up with 12 and never got to the big leagues after that. But he was your cleanup hitter. So with Teixeira, without having A-Rod, and the Yankees are a much better offensive team than we were then. But when we lost Matt Williams, Barry Bonds started swinging at anything close to the strike zone to try to get a hit.
Right.
And Teixeira didn't have A-Rod hitting behind him. Now you look.
Now he's getting better pitches.
You look what happens. You got A-Rod behind you. You're looking on deck circle as a pitcher saying,
I
don't want to face A-Rod, so I better try to get this guy. And Teixeira's taking it
that makes
full advantage of it. Yeah, you've got to do that. I think that year also taught Barry, too, a lot of patience, because he ended up, what did he walk, 200 times that one year? Something ridiculous when he hit all those. If he wasn't hit a home run, he was walking.
He walked more than what most guys hope to get hits in a season.
His on base percentage was like 6 something or something.
Yeah, it was crazy.